The NFL has been wanting to do this for a minute, and they're going to make it a reality really soon. The AFC conference title game and the NFC conference title game are going to be at neutral field, at a neutral site. Now, I'm sure they were hoping to do this year when they had this whole deal about if Kansas City had to play, what was it, Buffalo? I think they were going to have it down in Atlanta as a neutral site because of the whole incident with the Cincinnati Buffalo game in Week 17. But this is something the NFL has been wanting to do. They want to have the conference championships at these big stadiums so they can really max out the seats, have the corporate sponsors, and all that type of stuff. I personally think it's bad for the game. It may be good for money short term, but I think it's bad for the fans. Let me say that. I think it's bad for the fans. But what do you all think about having the conference championship at a neutral site? If the Packers, make it to the conference championship and have home field advantage, they're not going to play it at Lambeau Field. They're going to play it at AT&T Stadium or Ford Field or somewhere like that. How do you all feel about that? Is that good for
Don't.
the fans?
It's
No, I
bad,
don't
man,
like
because
that.
you got to think about it like this. If you're in the conference championship, you want to win in front of your fans. You want to win for them. If you're playing at home, you got home field advantage throughout the playoffs and things of that nature. You want to play in front of your hometown fans. You don't want to be in a neutral field. Granted, depending on what team that you root for, like Raiders, Steelers, Cowboys. Well, I'll just say Raiders, Steelers. If they were in the conference championship, we know that those fans travel well for those two teams. They would show up in numbers in the South. I know that for a fact. I've been to several games here. So it'd be good for them. But my belief is I'd rather fly to Pittsburgh and see that game in the cold weather and watch that game and watch them win on their home field. That's just me. Yeah, it's good for for revenue and things of that nature. But I'd rather my team, if my team's in the conference championship, like the Chiefs were this past weekend, I'd rather them win at home versus on a neutral site.
Right?
Yeah, I think that it's not a good idea because you play all year to get the home court advantage and or the home field advantage, and that's the way we used to seeing it. And I think a lot of rules is going to alter the game. If you have it on a neutral site and you are the better team all year long, I just don't think that's fair to your home fans. I don't think that's fair to the team that did have the best record, and I think it gives a advantage to the team that would have been coming to your stadium. So I don't think that the new rule would be. I think you should keep the game as natural as you can from the beginning of the game. I mean, you could change rules here and there to make things better, but when you start altering the game too much, like you're seeing in basketball, when they start putting up some of these basketball facts of how the game has actually changed, like everybody think the scoring is so much better now. It's not better. The rules have just changed, and now it's just watered down. Nobody's playing defense, and that's how it goes. And you don't want that to happen in football because football is the thing that everybody can't do. Basketball, you can get guys and girls or whoever out there, folks from overseas, anywhere, to try and take a shot at the basket. They want to be Steph Curry. You can do that, but you can't. Anybody can't play football. You can't get out there and play tackle football. Somebody's gonna get hurt. You got to be you special to do that. And I think they can mess with the integrity of the game if they start doing stuff like this just to have it in a bigger stadium. I think they should leave it the way it is, or home field advantage doesn't mean anything. Now, if a team doesn't even have to play toward the end of the year because they don't know it's going to come down to a neutral field anyway, which hurts the fans again.
Yeah, I think it's bad for the fans. I think that, because for one, if you do get like a first round bye, then that means you're only going to have one home playoff game. You're going to play that divisional round at home, and then you're going to a neutral site. So you only get one playoff game at home. And I think it's bad for the fans because, let's say Buffalo if Buffalo would have made it to the conference championship and they had to play Kansas City. All right. And the game was in Atlanta. Let's just say Buffalo would have had home field advantage and it should have been in Buffalo, but now it's in Atlanta. So as a fan, I could get in my pickup truck, take my barbecue grill down to the Buffalo Stadium, tailgate, have a good time. Yeah, my tickets may be $400, but still, that's all I'm paying for is a ticket. Tailgate, have a good time, going to the game, watch Buffalo play Kansas City in my home stadium. But by now, because now it's in Atlanta, I can't bring my barbecue grill because I got to pay for a flight to Atlanta because I'm not going to drive my truck to Atlanta. Pay for a flight to Atlanta. I got to pay for a hotel room. I got to pay for a rental car or maybe Uber, something like that. And then I got to pay for the tickets, which are going to be probably higher than they were in Buffalo because it's a state-of-the-art stadium. And instead of being out $400, now I'm out probably $2,000, and that's just for me. If I try to take my family, then I'm out even more. So I don't think it's right to do the fans this way. And I do think that it impacts the integrity of the game, and it really cheapens home field advantage. I hate that they want to do this. I'm pretty sure they're going to go forward with this, but I just think it's a bad idea. I think it's a horrible idea. And it's kind of like boxing, with boxing with pay-per-view. Pay-per-view makes a lot of money, but we've seen over the years it's turned off a lot of people and has also kept a lot of people from seeing the fight game, which has made the sport dwindle. And I just think if you start making these changes and start chasing the money, the short-term revenue, that over the long haul, you're going to kind of prevent the next generation from catching on to what I think is the greatest sport.
Roughing the passer, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Roughing the passer, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.